summarizes a number of things. It underscores the concept that the profession of arms is dangerous, and there are risks in everything that one does. And in this case, they were both, experienced aviators, Air Force aviators, but not experienced flying with each other. And we don't know if that was somehow contributing to the loss or whether it was just coincidental. But he said, I'll take the risk. My mom was not happy. She was infuriated by it, but she knew that his chosen profession was the profession of arms. And in this case, the profession of arms deployed to Southeast Asia, us living at Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines, and him flying TDY from Clark over to Tan Son Nhut outside of Saigon, and then from there flying up to Da Nang, getting instructions, additional fuel, and then off on a bombing mission. So I think it just underscores what America's military knows from the time they raise their hand. They're taking a risk, and sometimes that risk can be costly. When that box of partial remains was found and the Air Force knocked on the door and told my mother and told Patsy Lovelace in New Bern, North Carolina, that they were going to bury the two men, ultimately deciding to bury them in Arlington National Cemetery, bury them together in the same grave. They told my mom that she would be able to attend the funeral and bring two family members with her at no cost. They knew darn good and well that she had 5 children, that she and Bill Cordero had 5 children, but they said, you can bring 2. Now, mind you, this is 1969. My mom was 31 years old, 5 kids, husband who'd been gone after being missing in action for all that time. But she had 5 kids. And the Department of Defense and everybody else involved knew darn good and well that she had 5 kids, but they said, you can bring 2. So my mom looked at it and said, there's no way that I can do this on my own. Her aunt, who lived in the same town here in San Pedro, California, south of downtown Los Angeles, she volunteered to go and pay her own way to help and provide my mom some stability. But my mom's parents couldn't go. They couldn't afford to fly cross country like that. My dad's parents couldn't afford to go. And that left 3 of my mom's 5 children on the sidelines. Fortunately for me, my mom's parents, Ed and Anna Carroll, paid for me to go. I was 8 years old. I took my Cub Scout uniform. I wanted to be in uniform at my dad's funeral, so I wore my Cub Scout uniform. But that still left Dickie and Jim, the 2 youngest boys, at home. Dickie was 6, Jim was 3. So you could arguably say, well, maybe they were a little bit too young to attend the funeral. It's BS. And the lesson learned today is that for a grieving family who's lost a loved one, whether it's a war on terror or something else, they fly the whole family. Mom, dad, husband, wife, kids, siblings, roommate in college, girlfriend, fiance, whoever. They fly them not only to the funeral, but they also fly them to services that a particular unit may be having if they're not close to the cemetery where the burial is taking place. So family loses a loved one. They all attend the funeral. They attend the transfer, the dignified transfer, wherever that occurs, and then they attend the funeral at a cemetery. And then if 2 months later, the unit of whatever branch of the military it is having a memorial service for that fallen serviceman, those folks still have that same opportunity to go again. That's one of the great lessons and the improvements that's been made since Vietnam and before, compared to today. But Dickie Cordero, rest his soul, he died in 2001. He was just shy of 40, late 30s at the time, but he died of pancreatic cancer. And he went to his grave angry. went to his grave angry. And the youngest of the five, Jim, was 3 at the time that the funeral was being held. But I am absolutely certain that if you put him on camera and asked him that question, he would honestly tell you how hurt it was for him, because he has no memories. Not only did he never meet his dad, because he was born 6 months after his dad was killed, he never met his dad, doesn't have a picture of him with his dad. And oh, by the way, the Department of Defense thought so much of him that they wouldn't send him to his dad's funeral. What they should have done is sent him to the funeral and hired a daycare provider to look after just him so he could attend. And if it got out of control, my mom wouldn't have to worry about it. A daycare provider from the Air Force would have done it for her. That's what should have happened. And that's probably what happens today. But in 1969, different story.